morning, afternoon. How are we? I'm still not very well today, still rough. Just say hello to that guy. No, absolutely terrible I am. Just got nipped to Tesco's at Tissuvaras, try and get some more biscuits. Been absolutely terrible with this coughing and everything. Really bad. You see, this is what I want to talk about. I like to talk to you while I'm having a bit of a drive. This cough I've got, what happened was, it's not coronavirus. This is what you're probably thinking. When I was about 27, somewhere around that age, when I worked at my dad's place, lorry driving, I got a really bad flu, and I remember I was doing some jobs up to Lutterworth, just taking some trailers there and back, local work what we call it. And I remember I was really bad. I had flu, and I said to me old man, I says I'll just try and go in. He told me not to go in because obviously my dad's one of these who believes in working all the time anyway. But I was really bad. Snot was coming out. I was really bad. I'm not really a nose runner person. I'm not one of them with a big red nose. I don't get normally all that. All my problems get in my head here, top of my nose, infections if I get really bad, and a bad chest in my lungs and stuff like that. Well, I got this flu virus. Did you know that there's so many? They always change something. I remember coming down towards, I'd done about 2 trailers and I just couldn't do any more, and I was that ill. And I was like, that week I was nodding off. My bones was aching. And I remember clipping a curb with my front wheel as you were coming off the 453 to Clifton. I clipped the curb, and I just knew that's it. I knew that I was really bad. And when I got back to the yard, I more or less fell out. I was only in a low line 40-ton lorry, but I was in a low-line Volvo, what the really high cabs. It was an FL10. Just use it for like shunting and local work. And I fell out of this bloody cab, banged all my legs. I just literally fell out, completely missed the steps. And when I got into where the everybody looking at me, drivers asked me if I was alright. And when I got into where the boss was and the planner for the day, I just said to him, I says, I feel really weak, and I just fucking fainted, you know. I never faint, I've never done it like that, but you probably wanted like a faint, but I just dropped, and this driver caught me. And I was that bad, he actually had to drive my car home to Beeston when I lived down near Beeston. He drove my car home while another driver followed. I had terrible influenza, saying influenza on gear again, I had terrible flu. And ever since then, whenever I get like feel a bit rough, a bit down with colds or whatever, I'm not really a cold person, but when I've not really been ill. I think this is the second time I've been ill this year, but it goes normally, but I've not had this way stuck with me for a long time. And what happens is I get this virus, this whatever I've got, it's like a tickle. I wonder if anybody else has had it, it's a tickle. It's almost like a dry cough. And I get this, what comes back when I get I don't know whether, it's like I can't breathe. I actually got, my doctor once gave me one of those, like, it wasn't a normal asthmatic, but when you're asthmatic, but it's like a different one where you just suck, see? Because I took away my breath. Gonna kill me off, this is. If I ever die, just letting you know, if I die, it's gonna be whatever is wrong with me now. It's gonna kill me off. So I tend to have the right to it. Listen, I'm going dizzy now. I used to obviously be off work with this because I couldn't drive the lorry when I got this like cough. It's terrible. It gives me a headache, makes me dizzy, I can't breathe. I can't even communicate with people. No, the problem, because I'm talking, I can't breathe. If I don't talk, I'll be alright, but I want to talk to you. To you to tell you about it if anybody else has had it, because what normally clears it now, is antibiotics. So I was like, I've started taking some because Sunsy's mum's got some. Maybe it's going to try and clear up, but I'm absolutely feel terrible. So what happens is, this sort of virus thing of whatever it is I've got, bacteria, I get this and it's never ever gone away. I've had it since I ever had that flu. It's like as if it lays dormant in my lungs or wherever. But you know what I wanted to say? Every time I've gone to doctors when I was in England, my lungs are clear. You know, and they just give me antibiotics. Now, majority of the time, the antibiotics take it off. But there was a time when I was struggling. I had to have 2 lots of antibiotics. I had to wait for about a month, and you're not supposed to keep taking antibiotics. And I finally got rid of it. But can you just sort of imagine where I'm coming from now, right? So I want to wedge the camera. Can you just sort of imagine that how awkward this is? You know, constantly having this like crazy cough. Yeah, having this like crazy cough constantly. It'd be insane. So it's not good at all. It's absolutely horrible. I mean, you know, when I finally do nod off at night, it tends to be night time or first thing in the morning. You know, and I'm probably thinking, well, have a drink of water, get some water down here. That don't always cure it either. It seems to be like in my throat here. Tell you what, I put tracksuit bottoms on because we are nearly in October, but the sun's coming out and I tell you what, it's really getting warm again. But I can't walk around in shorts because here they think you're mental. So, although I put shorts on when I'm cleaning the dogs out outside and whatever. Jesus wept. Anyway, what else was I going to just say to you? Anyway, the tractor guy, he's been sending me a load of messages. And finally now, I've got the 3 sons, there's 3 of them, who's actually farmer's son, the tractor guy you've seen, his 2 brothers. They're doing the house for me. They've cut loads down now. All that front is completely cleared. Sorry, but all the grapes had to go because they weren't in the right place anyway. So I will be replanting some when I move in the house. But at the back of that back building where you see them green doors, all at the back, all those what I told you, honey trees, they've all had to go because I can't do any work. Although the brickwork is solid. Apparently, the dad, although he died years ago, who owned that house, the husband, he was a builder. So that might explain why all the outer buildings are all brickwork, reinforced with brick, because they're all solid. So what David's doing at the minute, David in Hungarian, but we'll call him David because that's his name in English. David is he's pulled all them floorboards up for me. The lower part of the wall is you're gonna laugh because it's like, I don't like doing things like this, but it makes me feel like a boss. And I'm saying to him, keep all your receipts. He went and got himself one of those like chisels to take all the tiles off. So he took all the floors up. He's doing everything for me, getting all the wall, concrete on the floor. I told him he's going to go 20 centimeters. Makes me feel alright, dictator. I says go 20 centimeters, 10 centimeters of hardcore, put down, lay down. Then I want some nice, what they call nylon, which is like polythene, and then concrete, 10 centimeters of concrete. Make that floor nice and solid, ready for nice tiles. And we all I don't know now, I don't know what any of you think, but I might, because it's going to be like a cottage kitchen, I might go for a nice, like Mediterranean brown. I was going to go white, but I might go for a nice Mediterranean light brown all the way through the house to keep it in the style I want. But that's going to obviously come later when all the rooms have been done. So bless him, he's doing all that for me. So all the concrete, because the problem is, it's my dogs. Well, sadly, I'd be moved in the house, I'd sleep in the car every day, I would. It's my dogs. The dogs can't do without me. They're just a problem. It's mainly the two in the house. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, take the two dogs to them. Yeah, I could do that, but Hunter is not very, and Luna, they're not very good with people. So they're alright with people once they know them, but my dogs, the ones at the front are fine, but they're security dogs at the end of the day. And yes, they're not mental, but they're big dogs. And I'm not taking the risk of letting them off and letting them sort of run up to a person, then they might not, I'm not saying they're going to ragdoll a person, nothing like that, but I don't want them to start nipping the hands and stuff and the legs. Once they start doing that, and then you're telling them and get mad with the dogs not to do it, it might could lead to other things. I'm not taking that risk. I'm not taking that risk. Because the problem with German Shepherds, and with a lot of animals, they're my German Shepherds, they're not going to be like the German Shepherds like you have in England, they're more wild here. Dogs live outside, and it's not just the fact that they live outside, even the ones what are in the house, the way what it is the blood. This is not like what they say about people, it's the blood. The blood is not the same. The bloodline is not the same. And the way these dogs are, they're just security dogs, and that's how they are all the way through. Yeah, they are loving, great dogs, and once they know you, they're fantastic. But I'd rather the dogs know somebody first. Then it's like, I'm not chucking a person in the lion's den, I'm not taking them risks. Because I've been bitten, I've been bitten by my dogs, not deliberate, when I've had to break fights up with the dogs. And I'll tell you something now, until you've had a German Shepherd's top teeth and bottom teeth going into inside you don't realise. You got to remember, a dog's teeth, you might say, yeah, they're big dog's teeth and they're sharp, but theoretically they're not perfectly sharp, they've got a little bit of a... So you imagine when they're not completely dead sharp, so when that punches your skin because of the pressure, that really rips your skin open. And I've had it, and I've got scars to prove it. I've got them on my hands, my legs, everywhere. And it isn't been, the night dogs aren't deliberately bit, mate. It's when I've been separating 5 or 6 dogs grabbing hold of one. I can't let them dogs kill one dog, because they will. They're like wolf pack. You see it in these documentaries, don't you? You see these wolves. They'll go for the and lions. Once they want to knock another dog off the pedestal at the top, when they find a weakness or an injury, they will do that. Now I have finally got I don't know why, but since that one dog died, bless her, Hyena, the dogs have settled right. I don't get no more fights. But a bit of barking is fine with each other, sort of telling each other, the dogs. I don't get no more fighting, no more ragdolling, none of it. That is completely stopped. Now, I'm not saying Hyena was a problem, because Hyena wasn't. But what I do know, Star, I've got Star and Blackie at the minute at the back. Star used to work together with Hyena. and they become a force together, and they would then attack one dog, and then once they did that, Blackie would then join in. And Blackie's a lovely dog, she's a lot like a mum. And then once them three, what you've got to realise is, right, I could have got the video camera footage out. You've got to realise, when them dogs, I've seen them dogs, them females, grab a male, a big male, right? If you're anybody thinks that a big massive male German Shepherd, yeah, he's strong, he's a very, very strong dog, and yet he's not weak. But when you see females work, same with lions, the female, they are very, very, very nasty. I've seen them grab Kai, one of the males. I mean, he's a tough dog, he is. One female's probably scared, yeah. They're frightened now, frightened of the males. But when Hyena was alive, I've seen Hyena and Star grab one ear. I've seen it happen to Kai. They grabbed one ear, then one grabbed the other ear, and they were pulling him out the back of the press zone, pulling him. And the other one, I think Blackie had his on his legs. Now, and then I've seen that the males come in then, barge in to grab the females. I mean, these are brothers and sisters. You have to be very, very, very careful. I'll break that up, I'll break that. I'll go in there, all guns blazing, I do, with just my shorts on. I don't take no shit off the dogs. I do not, because if I do not do that, they will kill that dog. And to me, all them dogs are important to me. I do not like animal fighting, and I know it can be natural, but I'm not having it under my roof. Same with kids, I'm not having it under my roof. I'm not having them dogs kill each other, not why I'm alive. Alright? And yeah, I don't go in there with a baseball bat, I do not go in there with a gun, I do not go in there with a knife to kill another dog. I go in there and I've separated. Yeah, I'll tell you what I have done, what you're gonna laugh. Because I've got them big plastic things, we throw them on top of the dogs' heads and all sorts. Because these aren't weak dogs, They're tough dogs. They're tough dogs. And when I go to separate them, instead of kicking the dogs, what I do, I get my foot on the body, and I push them and let them know, and I get loads of water. And I tell you what I do, what really does the trick, better than the Ospine, what used to, because I don't get the problems no more. Buckets of water, get a bucket of water. I know it's horrible, but when you get, dogs ripping other dogs apart, throw the bucket of water at them, not throw the bucket, but the water hard at the faces. I know it's not nice, but this of owning multiple dogs, a pack of 10 dogs, you can't piss about. You can't be soft with them. Now I've got them dogs under control, and my dogs, right, you get all you trainers on there, right? I'm not saying not what you're doing wrong or whatever, but it's so easy when you're putting it on camera, you can edit things out and edit things out and edit things out. I'm lucky, since I've been doing YouTube, I've not really had any of them episodes, because they finished, because what I did, I separated Hunter and Luna. They did grab them 2 dogs. I've separated the dad and the mum now, they're at the front. So I've got 3 segregations now of dogs. Unfortunately, I was thinking about it last night, it breaks my heart, Hyena going. I don't. Lovely dog. Fucking kills me. I can't explain to you how much I miss her. Lovely, lovely dog. She was gorgeous. It hurts me the most. I'll tell you what hurts me the most. I don't know why she died. And it fucking killed me. I'm being serious, it kills me. Just not knowing why she died. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not talking about the dogs. Because she would be so happy at the grass as well. I dream about her. Don't think I'm a sad twat. I dream about her. Not going to talk about it. Can't talk about it because normally I can talk about it, but I tell you what's getting to me now, because I've got all the other dogs and I'm going to the other house. You would have been so happy, because I know that land they've got, they'll all be so happy. They'll burn their energy off. They'll be running. You know, I've told you, I'm not even going to go into money I've had to spend on this house. You only have to work that out yourself, right? I could have gone to a, listen, I could have gone to a car garage. I'm going to be honest with you now. I could have gone to a car garage and bought myself a brand spanking new M3. Money I'm spending on this house. And I know a car don't cook your food. I know a car ain't got a bed. I know all that. I'm just hypothetically saying to you that I've got an house. I've got an house now. And theoretically, yeah, I didn't want to stay in Mezzotron. Of course I want to move. But you've got to be honest with you. I've got to whatchamacallit. I've got to get to the other house as soon as possible, really. I've got to get to the other house, get in there. But like I said to you, money it's costing. I could have bought myself a brand spanking new M3, I'll tell you that right now. So you just work that out. It costed me a lot of money. Not on about second hand, I'm talking brand new. I'm only using an M3 as a like a diagram. Could be a new Mercedes or whatever. All I'm saying to you is, right, cars are just they're a plaything for me. But when it comes to shit like this, it's a different thing. And I put all my energy into this house. And you know, I got this house mainly for the dog, the land. It wasn't the fact that I could go and live in a, you know, like if I didn't need the room, I could go and live in a fucking city centre. But I'm not a city centre person because I like peace. I don't want it sucking all the fumes off. You know, I've been a lorry driver for years. I don't want buses and lorries and cars. I don't want to have that. You know, I want peace. So this is why I got this farm, this farmhouse, and the farm and everything. Because that's what it is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Don't matter which way you look at it, that's what it is. Don't matter that there's no chickens or pigs there now or whatever. I mean, the neighbour's got 100 pigs in his land at the front, behind the house. He's got 100 pigs, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, that must sting. It does. Not always. It's when you go to the back, you get a whiff sometimes, but it's not all the time. But does me a favour. He's got 100 pigs. I've got 9 dogs, 9 German Shepherds. But so it swings and roundabouts, isn't it, really? So. Anyway, I'm at Tesco. I'll just quickly go in Tesco. And then we can have another chat, can't we? Alright. How are we doing? Doing my shopping. Done all my shopping. Why is it? Every time I go shopping, I tend to always get more than what I intend to do and end up doing a massive shop. Anyway, where was I? I've done my shopping. Bit cloudy today, but it's warm. Sun came out, then it disappeared again. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting into the house. The sooner I can get into the house, the sooner everything's going to be a lot better for me, because the plans I've got for YouTube and me is a bit astronomical, really, because I am going to go everywhere in Europe, everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of places anyway, but I'm really going for it. I mean, I'm going to Dracula's Castle in Romania. I mean, obviously back in the day, Transylvania was all in Hungary. Back in the day, people don't know that, but it was. The Kingdom of Hungary was huge. Carpathian Mountains, everything. But obviously, Dracula's Castle, it's actually Vlad the Impaler. That's where Dracula came from. Dracula is like, he's like made up. Now, I'm not saying that I don't believe in vampires. Of course, we all want to believe in vampires, especially you women. The fact of a bloke with big teeth to bite you, you'd love it, wouldn't you? The sordid side of it all. I want to believe in things like vampires. But obviously, there is such thing as vampire bats to a degree, what suck blood or go to animals, cows, and everything like that. But it's actually Vlad the Impaler who Hungarian, Vlad the Impaler, well, Romanians, and I say he's Romanian, he's actually Hungarian, Vlad. Vlad the Impaler, he was so gruesome the way he killed people. He'd put the big spear, whatever he used, because actually in Dracula's castle, Vlad the Impaler's castle, home, the weapons he used were quite really brutal. So look, he got that big spear thing. It's not a spear, but I can't remember exactly the word, what it is called. And he'd shove it straight up their rectum. Now I know what you're all thinking, because I've said rectum. Now no laughing. I've got to take this serious. This is a serious story. And he'd shove it right up their rectum, shove it straight through the body, and it'd come out the mouth, and they'd be like that in the field. And once he'd done that to them, he'd put the spear or the, it wasn't just one, there were loads of them, and he'd hang all these people up in the field with this weapon what's gone through the body. I mean, it's absolutely gruesome, isn't it? You just won't even want to even think if people were sort of still alive when they was hanging there. I mean, it's absolutely absolutely terrible, the thought of it. So yeah, although it's down as Dracula's castle, it's actually Vlad's castle. This car's so noisy, isn't it? It's actually Vlad the Impaler. So yeah, that's a real big visit for me. I mean, obviously these places I'll be visiting in the future, not so many months away. Obviously I won't be coming straight back home. It'd have to be like 2 or 3 days, a couple of days minimum by the time I drove there, because we're not talking driving 200 mile, I'm talking driving 2, 4, 6, 7, 800 mile to do videos. You know, it's going to cost me a lot of money in fuel, but I need to do it. I want to do it. I enjoy doing my videos. I love it. I don't care if I'm on my own or with someone. I mean, to be honest, I want to be on my own. I love it. Just love it. So, you know, once the dogs are all settled, I'd probably take 1 or 2 dogs with me eventually, and go to like friendly dog hotels where all over Europe, or take me camping. I've got a big camping tent as well, 6-berth camping tent. I've had that for a long time, brand new. I never used it. Do a bit of camping, take the dogs, go and park up in the forest somewhere. You know, where there's bears. I might need the dogs to protect me. If I don't, obviously this if I don't kill over before I do all these videos. I'll probably kill over before I finish my house, or whatever I've got wrong with me. So yeah, there's a lot of plans. So many things I want to do. You know, and even the winter months will be coming. It's not going to stop me doing my videos. I'll still go out and do my videos. that's another reason why I really want to have a LDEX. LDEX is like I've got to just put people on the picture for people who don't really know about cars. LDEX is like 4-wheel drive, but it's not 4-wheel drive. It's like you having your Golf R's and your R32s back in the day. I'm picking an R32 because it's probably what people more can think of who are not into the cars. But an LDEX, what it'll do, once wheel spins, once your front wheel starts spinning, it takes the power off and goes to the rear. But you can go to all 4 corners. So, and obviously the newer the cars are getting now, the better the LDEX is getting. I mean, it's like what's in the A45 AMG, Golf R's, yeah, RS3 Audis. I will have to at least go minimum LDEX driven 4-wheel drive, or I'll have to go permanent 4-wheel drive. And I think that's something what my next car's going to have specifically for me, because there's going to be places I'm not going to be able to go in my Mercedes with it being rear-wheel drive. I'll kill myself. I'll get stuck because because it's an estate, a combi. The E-Class is really long. The back end does tend to slide out even when you're not going fast. With decent tyres on, I have turned, don't get me wrong, it didn't have winter tyres on. So I can't quote on that because that is something, another thing. They say just putting winter tyres on a car is actually better. So let's just say you've got a 4x4 car, or an LDEX driven car, that's running on summer tyres. But let's just say my Mercedes, for instance, I put winter tyres on that. I can tell you now, and they've said this, I've seen tests, that car would probably grip better. I'm probably 90% sure that would grip better than a 4x4 car with summer tyres on. So that's another option. And that is something, see, it's not illegal here, but it's recommended. But in Germany, it's illegal. You have got to have winter tyres on. I mean, I'll never forget, what was it, about 2 years ago, I'd driven back, from here, and it was, I don't remember, November or December. I think it ended in November. The forecast snow, and there was just little bits of snow come down, and when it snows here, you do get snow. It's not like in England where everybody's excited and they want snow, and then all of a sudden it turns to sleet and it's rain, and everybody's pissed off because they've not had no snow. It's not like that here. When they say it snows, believe me, it snows. And I was driving that, and I was getting up to Egersollen, which is like the Hungarian border into Austria. Snow really coming down about 10 minutes before settling on the motorways. And I mean settling, because it's so cold. The roads are so cold. And here's me with summer tyres on in my Mercedes, loaded up to the hill, frightened to death at the back end. But I'm just glad it did have some weight in it to push it down. It's like with lorries. A lorry will stop better with a 44 ton lorry will stop better than a lorry completely unloaded, and that's the truth. And I was driving. I got to Austrian border, and all I went to get me matrix and me toll ticket. I'm not kidding you. I come out, and the blizzards were coming down. And it was like getting like 1, 2, 3, 4 inch. It was coming down that bad because you're so high up. You see, I was going so high up. By the time I got another 10 minutes into Austria, that was it. We're talking like a foot of snow. A good 10, 20 centimetres of snow. And I tell you what, there were a lot. I was doing about 40 mile an hour because every time, like when you get into the motorway, when you get into like where the lorries have been, it's like a bit of an indentation. The roads, believe it or not, excuse me, the motorways are better than in England. Oh God, I feel so dizzy. Every time I got in there, I could feel the back end wanted to come out because I was correcting the car all the time. I just couldn't go any faster. And there's all these cars overtaking me, BMs, Mercs, all little cars, women, everything. I just couldn't, for the life of me, I just could not go any faster. I I tried it. I just couldn't do it. And I had to stick at 40 mile an hour till it cleared. I mean, we're talking miles. It really held me back. I mean, it probably held me back by, I bet it held me back by easy a good 6 hours. And lorries were overtaking me, and you know, obviously when you start getting 44-ton lorries, 40-ton lorries overtaking you, because the majority of 40-ton here, they don't have the 6-wheel axle in England on the driver's cab. Obviously the car was getting splattered with snow and sheets of ice, sleet, you know, it made things even worse. But that's the lessons you learn, you know, when prepare. This is why I'm saying here and in England, once them temperatures start to drop, you know, and you get into like, not when I say like 23 degrees, I'm talking like that's the proper Fahrenheit, like when you get 80 degrees in summer, because here they always go by the lower number. So let's just say when I say 40 degrees in summer or 35, you do the same in England, but they don't really use the higher number really. So like when it's 40 degrees and it's over 100 degrees, like about 105 or whatever degrees it is, 110. I'm just saying that the 20 odd degrees is the Fahrenheit, so let's just say 20 odd degrees might be something like 3 degrees or whatever it is. I'm not a flipping meteorologist, I'm just hypothetically. So what they're saying is, anyway, once it's around 20 or below 30 degrees normal, not in the summer temperature, they say that is when you really need winter tyres. So the best way to do it is October, towards the end of October. I know we're getting a milder climate in winter. I know we are. You can play it by how you feel. But they always say that by the end of October, you should be swapping to winter tyres. Because them colder mornings, like when you get to work, especially people who start work like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, when you start getting October, November, it is a lot cooler. And your tyres just don't get warm. Your tyres really are hard, you know, in the cold weather. So that's when they say that you should be swapping to winter tyres, and then they say towards the end of February, about February time, you should be then, you can swap back to your summer tyres. Now, it is really worth doing it because, you know, I'm not a professional lorry driver yet. I would call myself a professional driver. But I am going to be the one who has never done that. I have never done that. But now I do more driving in Europe, and I see the winter conditions are a lot more, and I'm in them winter conditions a lot more, driving in the car. It's not like I'm at home and I think, oh, blizzard's here, I'll not take my car, right, or I'll walk here, or there, I'm here, and I do need a car. And it is worth it. I mean, if you know, I would probably do that with Mercedes. Now, what you can do, see what I mean? Just gone really, really dizzy. Can't fucking see. Got to sort this out. I could do that with my car, but obviously my car's too big for Sunset. I mean, she's only a little girl anyway, but she can't drive my car, so I need something else. And if it was a case of having an LDX driven car, which even then, you still try to put winter tyres on, so then you'd be double better. If you've got a 4x4 in winter, and then you've got winter, so you've got 4x4 or an LDX driven car, and then you put winter tyres on the winter, even better. You know, you don't really got to worry about much. And I'm still not condoning that means you can drive around like a complete twat. No, you can't. You drive to conditions. You learn that with lorry driving. You drive to conditions. I mean, you know, most people should know this. When you've had dry months or weeks in summer, and then you get a big downpour, right? The road is very, very, very greasy. Because all the fumes and petrol of buses, lorries and everything, what's gone onto the roads, once that water starts to hit all that, you know, and we've not had a lot of rain to wash a lot of it away, when you first get that downpour, very dangerous. Take that. It's very, very dangerous, the roads and motorways. Very greasy. You know, so that, you know, you might go flying around a bend and think, oh, because it was wet and I was going too fast. It's not just because it was wet, it's because the contaminants what are on the roads as well. They're on the roads. So that's where you have to be careful, because you know, a lot of diesel cars, not on the newer ones, but like on buses, the exhaust is going down onto the road. Some lorries do as well, especially the older ones. And you notice it more here than England, because we tend to swap lorries now. We have all the new lorries here, you know, in England as well. So the exhaust is just straight, but when they go down on the road, all the fumes are going on the road. You know, all them, especially the diesels, all that shit and soot, all just stays on the road, and then it gets grease there as hell. Try to save all your lost lives here. I'm saving all your lives, so you don't have an accident. Just be careful. Motorways and roads are not a joke, and give room to lorries as well. Don't think that these lorry drivers, right, especially when you're on a bike or car, they need room to turn. So when they want to go left, you gotta really weigh the situation up. You gotta weigh it up. Lorry drivers get a bad rep. I'm not saying every lorry driver. We all make mistakes, but believe me, driving a 44-ton lorry at all hours, 15-hour day, 3 15 hours, and then a couple of 13-hour shifts, and then you might do the odd Saturday and Sunday as well. You know, you're earning your money, busting your bollocks, and it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. And you know, I was lucky when I went to Toyota, because the guy who was like in charge, the lorry driver who says that he's going to sort everything out when we want pay rises, he made sure that we started 6 o'clock every day. Like when I was driving, in my younger days and a lot of years, I was starting from midnight, all hours, nights. I was doing nights, days, afternoons, midnight starts, 1 o'clock in the morning starts. Absolutely, completely and utterly destroyed me. It destroys your soul, it destroys your well-being, it destroys your life. Money don't even come into it. Money does not come into it. You know, I will tell you this now, you can go and earn all the money in the world, right? But if your life is shit, it's just not worth it. It's not worth killing yourself, making yourself ill over it either. And you have to think of all that as well. Anyway, I'm back home. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed talking to me. So, see you all later.